morning, everybody. Good morning and welcome to our beautiful center, the Ventura Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Rev Bonnie Rose, and it's so great to see you all here today. And we just allow the joy and the laughter and the love that we feel for one another in this sanctuary, the love of God that manifests through each of us, to draw us into that heart-centered place where we rest and we remember the spiritual truth of existence. That truly there is only that one life, and that life is our life right here and right now. And so let us rest in that remembrance together as we open our hearts to remember exactly who we are. And as we sing together, I am remembering. And let us rest in this place of remembrance as we keep our hearts open, our minds open, our beings open, as we listen to the words of our sacred reading.
From Richer Living by Ernest Holmes. I accept myself as the outlet of the infinite. I believe in my divine origin, my persistent inspiration, and my destiny of good. I know that God gives freely to all, and my share is great. In me, the divine seeks to create new trains of causation, which will enrich me and increase the good of all who know me. I am God in action, and for there is nothing else for me to be. Creative ideas indwell me, and my environment welcomes their complete expression. I am unopposed, for the one power and the presence is the cause, continuity, and conclusion of my life. I am a center of divine release, and from me there flows this day the glory of God to all the other children of heaven. And so it is.
And so we rest in that beautiful place of paradox, as we sang our song of remembering, and I forgot to do the sacred reading until the end. And we allow just the gift of that, the gift of mistakes that turn out perfectly. And we breathe in deeply, and then we exhale, opening our eyes, rejoicing in what is, as it is, and so it is.
When my hands were emptied, when my hope was gone, I couldn't help but wonder what had I done wrong. But even though my heart was broken, there was no need to despair, 'cause a vessel must be open to put something better there. Oh yeah. Into my empty hands, gently you pour new life for me. Yours is a perfect plan. The ups and the downs were meant to be. Now I understand. You needed my empty hand. So forgive me when I doubt it. I admit sometimes I do. Or consider giving up, 'cause I cannot see the truth. I know I'll never go without it. Your deep and abiding love, oh love, into my empty hands. Gently you pour new life for me. Yours is a perfect plan. The ups and the downs were meant to be. Now I understand. You needed my empty hands. Gently you pour new life for me. Yours is a perfect plan. The ups and the downs were meant to be. And I cannot help but cry to think of the gifts you've given me. Now I understand. You needed my empty hands. Thank you for my. Thank you for my. Thank you for my empty hands. Thanks. I've been commuting all over the United States for the last 15 years singing songs, and but a lot has changed in the last, 3 years now since my wife started making our baby, and then when our baby decided to arrive in December of 2011. So he's now 2 and absurdly beautiful. He's actually the most beautiful baby in the world. We weren't sure, but it turns out he's magnificent. And so my commute has dropped to 7 miles. I go from my home to a recording studio that I just opened up less than a year ago now, where I'm making records rather than hit the road all the time, because Daddy likes to be home with baby. So I know that, thank you, by the way, for the opportunity to sing another song, in case you're wondering what I'm doing still up here. This is not me hijacking your service. Well, it might be, but with permission. Anyway, so this morning is about new life, new you, big changes, big decisions, complexity of those decisions, which is why empty hands came to mind. We can take the leap, and that doesn't mean that we won't break some bones. It just means that we're living larger and truer by doing so. So this is one of the most dangerous songs I ever wrote. And ever since I wrote it, everything has changed, and you're about to hear why. So if you decide to sing any of these words with me, just be careful. So thank you for having me. Here we go. A song about change. Bring it on. Everything new. Everything different. Everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying. I'm through waiting. I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. I think I finally learned to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through grieving, I'm through dreaming that the life I had is ever coming back. No more wishing on someone else's star that'll never be mine. I think it's time to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. And I've survived many times before. Broken hearts, slamming doors. I'll be alright, yes I will, once more, just as I did back then. I'm gonna rise again, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. So bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I know it's gonna be everything new.
You missed that, Todd. I'll share it with you after the service. Yeah. Thank you. Alrighty then. Everything new, everything different. It's great to see all of you here this morning in this beautiful, joy-filled center that we have together. The last time I spoke was a couple of weeks ago. We had a guest speaker last week. And when I spoke last, I spoke about my very favorite anniversary present ever, which was a dumpster. Thank you, Mr. Rose. I loved it. But another major thing that we did for ourselves over this Christmas holiday was we got ourselves a teeter hang-up. Do you know what that is? It's an inversion table. So you get to hang by your feet upside down. It's very, very cool. We love it. It was my Christmas present to my husband that he asked for. And so we hang upside down like bats just about every day. And for me, the first thing that happens when I get on the teeter hang-up is I flip over. We're doing about 80 degrees now. I'm hanging upside down at about an 80-degree angle, and the dog comes over. Bartok comes over, of course. But he doesn't come and licks my face. No, he backs into my face like a UPS truck going beep, 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 beep. And there he is, here's my face, and he's backing up, wagging his little tail, poking my eye out with his tail. So I shoved the dog out of the way. And then I get to enjoy a new view. No longer a view of dog butt, but the world upside down. And I remember how much I used to love as a little kid hanging upside down and looking at the world from that viewpoint. It's pretty cool. It reminds me of that old Fred Astaire movie where he's dancing on the ceiling. And I like to imagine what if the world was flipped over and what would our life be like. Certainly it's more convenient and more familiar like it is now, but I do like that imagination of just turning everything upside down. So, because I am who I am, a para-dork, thank you. I'm getting vanity license plates that say para-dork, by the way, thanks to my wonderful office staff who suggested it for me. What I also love about being upside down is that it causes me to contemplate the nature of reality. There are two simultaneous realities, at least two. Definitely more than two, but I'm in the consideration of two realities. There is right side up and there is upside down. Is one more real than the other? Not really. Right side up is as real as upside down. And at the same time, they are both unreal. They are both unreal because we are calling them right side up and upside down. And as Joel Goldsmith said, there is no up in infinity. There is no up in infinity. There is no down in infinity. So these are just two realities that are both real and unreal because they are based solely on our perspective. So put that in your pipe and smoke on it for a little while, and we'll see where we go with this. The reason that I'm bringing it up today is that, our whole teaching is about change your thinking, change your life. But I wonder if this has happened to any of you. We say, okay, this thing is happening and I have this thought about it, and this thought is not very nice. This thought is not something that I want to live, because we believe that our thoughts create experience. Our thoughts outpicture in our lives. So we say, come up with a new thought. So you come up with a new thought and you say, yeah, but that's just... Thank you for preventing me from saying that word. That thought is not real. But again, think of hanging upside down. There is an upside down reality and a right side up reality, and both of them are real and unreal simultaneously. So is the new thought any more real or unreal than the old thought that you don't want to live? So, I have experienced that it is very, very easy to change your thinking, to create and establish a new pattern of thought. I know this because for most of the time, the month of November and December, we got a puppy at the end of October, and much of the month of November and December, half of December, were spent house training the puppy. Every single day, about 20 times a day, I would say out loud, "Who wants to go outside and make pee-pee like a big girl?" Repeated it 20 times a day for a couple of months. Then I was attending a meeting at North Hollywood Church of Religious Science, and there was a bunch of ministers around, and they said, "Are we ready to start?" And I said, "Oh, no, first I need to go make pee-pee like a big girl." Now, they knew about the puppy, and so they didn't think I was too bizarre. Or maybe they did, I don't know. Maybe it is bizarre. But it struck me at how easy it was. All I needed to do was repeat that phrase about 20 times a day. I didn't even have to put any energy into it or any belief into it. And my thought changed. My thought about describing that particular activity changed, and just, well, I was going to say flowed from me like water, but that's not really the way I want to describe it. It just came out. That doesn't sound much better either, but you get the point, right? You get the point. So the thing about changing our thought is that it's largely based upon, or at least it starts with repetition. But you know what we repeat most of all? Is the thoughts that we do not wish to think. The thoughts that seem to have a mind of their own, that sneak into our minds and haunt us. I remember Hale Dwoskin, who was one of my mentors in the Sedona method, talked about how we have 1 million thoughts every single day, and then the next day when we wake up, and what thoughts do we repeat? The ones we don't want. The ones we don't want. So what if, again, we could take a new thought about something that we're experiencing, knowing that it's up to us to change our thinking. It's not so wise to start efforting to rearrange the world outside of ourselves. We start in this teaching by rearranging our thinking. What if we could have a totally new thought? And again, your first thought about the new thought will probably be, that's, not true, right? But again, think of that upside-down reality. Upside down and right side up coexist simultaneously. The old thought and the new thought coexist as realities simultaneously. The one that we experience depends on the one that we choose to think about, and the one that we experience depends on the one that we choose to repeat over and over again until it becomes true for us, because it's already true in the mind of infinite possibilities that is God. Right? Right. Thank you. Chances are, even with these pearls of wisdom spewing from this stage this morning, we may not do the work that's required. And part of that is because we don't like to change. So recently, I did something heinous in the world of ministry. You'll probably want to strip me of my title and have me do the walk of shame out those doors when you hear what I did. Some of you know about it already. The heinous thing that I did was I changed the program. I know. I flog her, I heard that. I changed the program, and it's meeting mixed reviews, and I changed it to make it easier for the office staff. But I'm so open to other suggestions. If you have a better idea, I would love to hear it. Maybe not right now, but I would love to hear it at some point. But what I thought was so brilliant was the response of one of our congregants, who shall remain nameless, but I happen to be married to him. And this happened the first week that we changed the program, and I was standing through that door there waiting to come on stage like I always do at the start of every service, and my husband comes through the door with the program like, "What is this?" Well, it looks rather like the program. And I said to him something like, "So I take it you don't like it?" And he said, "No, I don't." So I said, "Well, what specifically do you not like about it?" And he looks at it and he goes, "I don't know yet, but I'll get back to you on that." Now, once again, he claims he didn't say that. We have two very different versions of reality, but that's the point of this talk, isn't it? The point of that story about the program and change is that so many of us have a thought about change that we could change, right? That we could stand to change. We have a thought about change, about this is a change, and I don't like it. I don't know what I don't like about it, but I just know I don't like it because it's change, right? So what if instead of having those thoughts about change, something has changed in our life? We could say instead, wow, this change has happened, and we acknowledge that right now it doesn't feel very good, but what if this is the best thing? What if this is the best possible thing that could happen? This thing that I'm calling bad, what if it's really good? And in that way, we empty our hands of clutching to the old way and we open ourselves up for something new. Because another paradox that I've observed too is that as a species, we tend to resist change, but at the same time, we're resisting tedium. We're resisting sameness. Does anybody have anything like chores or dieting or something that you wish you could do once and then it would be done, right? Yeah. Hello in the back row. Right. But again, we can flip that thought over as well too. We're calling something tedious. Mine is vacuuming. We have a lot of vacuuming in our house because of the dog hair, so I'm vacuuming going, this is so boring, this is so boring, I wish I could just do this once. What if instead I could say vacuuming is bliss? Vacuuming is bliss. Again, it sounds like it isn't true. However, think again of that right side up and upside down, two simultaneous realities that are coexisting, that are both real and unreal at the same time. So what thought are you holding on to? What thought are you insisting is the truth? What thought are you saying, no, this is reality and any other thought is bull? What thought are you having? And see if just for now you can flip that over and think the opposite thought. Your first reaction will be, this isn't real. But again, two simultaneous realities, upside down and right side up, that are both real and unreal at the same time. Dr. Ernest Holmes said, and I'm going to paraphrase him, he said that we do not change absolute reality. All this work that we're doing to try and change the externals, to try and change other people, we do not change absolute reality. We do not change what is out there. We do not change absolute reality. Rather, we change our position in it. It makes me wonder if Dr. Ernest Holmes had a teeter hang up as well. Perhaps. We do not change reality, we change our position in it. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. We take that thought that we think is too good to be true, and we make that our position. That is changing our position in that absolute reality of all possibilities. Many of you know, and Todd announced it, that I'm currently teaching this class called Breaking Free, which is based on busting loose from the money game. And that class, that book, is a radical book. It's so out there, which is why I love it so much. And their basic premise is that we have come here to this earth as unlimited being, but we set ourselves up in this mirage, in this illusion of limitation, so that we can experience the game of breaking free from limitation and seeing what it's like to stop limiting our power. But we have to have the limitation established so we can experience the joy of breaking free. And it's just like any other game. Are any of you following the Super Bowl? Yes, so let me display my ignorance of football once again, which I do every year. I actually know a little bit more about it this year, but don't get me started. Anyway, if we would think, why would anybody want to come to this earth body and be infinite being and limit power? Well, why would anybody want to put on a bunch of pads and a helmet and have 20 huge guys race at you and try and knock you over while you're just trying to get the ball a measly 10 yards? Yeah, you get 4 tries to get the ball 10 yards. That's what I know. Okay. Why would anybody in their right mind do that? Why would anybody in their right mind be a minister? Why would anybody in their right mind be a musician? Where the whole race consciousness says, oh, there's not a lot of work out there. Why would anybody in their right mind have children? When it's so challenging to bring these little souls into the world and to take care of them. Why would anybody in their right mind have pets? We are constantly engaged in this beautiful game of setting up limitations that we get to transcend. So that's what I'm calling forth from every single one of you this morning. If you're here, you were called divinely to transcend limitation, to realize how magnificent you are, and to realize that for too long you have been held captive by a reality that you are naming real that is not real. You have been held prisoner by some thought that you have about the way it is, and I'm going to tell you right now that that is not the way it is. That is the way it isn't. The truth is that life is good, that life is magnificent, that you are whole, that you are perfect, that you are complete, that life is a beautiful, amazing adventure, and that you get to have it. You get to have it because you exist here with all of your heart and all of your goodness and all of your well-being and all of your gracefulness and all of your intelligence that says yes to these words that I'm saying, that says yes to a new view, that says yes to the truth that there are two simultaneous realities, more than two, but for our purposes right now, two simultaneous realities, upside down and right side up, and the one that we experience gets to be the one that we choose. How about that? Yeah? Absolutely. So, thank you. So, what I'm going to suggest that you do, it's what we did in class the other night. I'm going to suggest that you look at something that you're afraid of, something that you don't want to have happen, something that is happening that is causing you pain, that is causing you fear, and to look at what your thought is about that, and then flip that thought upside down. Flip that thought upside down and start thinking the opposite. Again, your first thought will be, that is not real. But it is real. It's as real or as unreal as the first thought that you had. Flip that thought upside down and have the good thought. And then make it an even better thought. And then make it still better. And then see how far you can go with making it better and better and better and better. Think of the story about my puppy and what I said to her. What was it? Let's see how a big girl makes her pee-pee, right? Whatever it is. I have various phrases along those lines. Think of that story. Think of repetition. And even if you don't believe it at first, repeat that thought over and over and over as much as you possibly can. And then stand by, and wait for your life to change. Because what you are doing is exactly what Daniel sang about. You are emptying your hands of the old reality. You are emptying your hands of the old limitations that you once imposed upon yourself. You are emptying your hands of anything that stands in the way, because the only thing standing in the way of your magnificence and God's grace reigning through you is your own thought. So have a good thought, a new view, and see how your life can change. Let's start right now. Please repeat after me. I am infinite being. My life is magnificent. My life is wonderful. My blessings bless everyone. I am happy, rich, and satisfied. I am healthy, whole, and complete. Okay, did you mean it? Maybe not. But if you didn't, just keep recognizing, again, this is just one aspect of reality that you have transcended, that you have moved into, and you can make these thoughts that we talked about better and better and better until they become the absolute, powerful, beautiful truth for you. Let's do that right now. Let us pray. So I turn within and just rest in that resonance, in that power, in that presence, in that beautiful God, that beautiful place that we call God, that is both within us and around us, that lives through us, that is the life of everything, that is perfect, that is whole, that is complete and completion, that is infinite, that shows up in the finite, that is the perfection that embraces both perfect and imperfect. That is the love, the power, the presence, the life, the death, the joy, the sorrow, all of it. All of that beautiful wholeness that is the darkness and the light of God shining itself upon us, moving through our lives, being our lives in truth and in goodness. Right here, right now, I recognize that truth. I recognize that what I have described is that which is beyond words, but that it is that one perfect life, that beautiful life that is infusing everything seen and unseen. And that beautiful, perfect life that is so, so vast is also so personal, so dear, so precious, and so real to me and to all of us right here and right now. So I open my heart and recognize and realize and unify with that beautiful, precious life that is the life of God, that is my life, that is our life. And I speak my word of truth in the first person, but knowing that I am using the universal I am that is the I am presence that applies to all of us. So in this wholeness, in this well-being, I experience the joy of knowing that it is easy to change my reality because it is easy to change my thought. I am willing to accept and embody a new thought. I'm willing to repeat it, even if I don't believe it at first. I'm willing to take on this thought and start to call it my own. And with this willingness, with this grace, with this emptiness, with this fullness, I open my hands and my heart and my eyes and my being to be that which Spirit intended me to be that wholeness, to be that prosperity, to be that abundance, to be that health, to be that perfect well-being, to be that beacon of good that radiates beauty and power and love and kindness to the world around us. I am so grateful to know this and so grateful to claim this for myself, so grateful to bless all beings with this beautiful, beautiful teaching here this morning. I am grateful for the demonstration of truth that I know is moving through every single member here today, every single person in our congregation, every single person who by divine appointment said yes to this morning. I am grateful for the goodness that is God that expresses miraculously through all of our lives. Grateful for the freedom to change our thinking. Grateful for the freedom to experience something new and wonderful and upside down and right side up. I bless the spiritual center and every single person here this morning. I bless all paths to God, churches, temples, mosques, and ashrams. And with a heart that is so filled with love and gratitude, so filled with power and presence, I release these words to that mystery that always says yes. And together we say, and so it is.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in.